people on the internet, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright. We're pretty close to the end, I'm pretty sure, because we just about wrapped up all the points we needed to.
Yep. Yeah, I loaned out cash, about $100,000. That day, we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know? Real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over.
Now, I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. L was $50,000.
Yeah, well, you just got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know?
That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal.
And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question.
Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case.
His motive? He has to have one, but what is it?
Well, he's got his own debt to pay off, right? The $1 million?
Yes. Yes. But
Mr. Cadaverini?
But that doesn't mean he would kill Elg, especially if Elg had the money to pay him back.
Yeah, but if Elg had a CD that was a virus program worth potentially millions, and he's already $1 million in debt to Cadaverini, he'd kill him over that.
I'm guessing I can't press anything still, right?
Probably. So the tiger was meeting Glenn Elg to get his money back. If Mr. Elg had just given him a lottery ticket, that would have been the end of it.
Yeah, so what's the tiger's motive? It's the big one. If we don't manage to undermine his testimony, it's all over for us. Why would he have to poison Mr. Elg? And why did he loan him money in the first place when he knew he couldn't repay him? I'm gonna try pressing, but if I get a penalty, I'll just load.
Okay.
Did he have any way of paying the loan back?
The fool was a gambler. He said he couldn't give it up till he landed a big win. So I agreed to help him.
Help him? You?
I kept hitting him with ideas for ways he could get a big win. But the guy kept losing.
So you were helping him for his sake, or for yours?
Went to compromise. You help me, I help you. What's the difference, huh?
I don't believe this.
Nick, would anyone really ever loan money to someone they thought was unreliable? Like, for example, if it were you, I'd only loan you $5, max.
Thanks a lot, Maya.
Wow, Maya, that's really fucking cheap.
Yeah.
But then I guess she also gets like only $20 on a month to live, so...
Yeah. So, how much were you expecting him to pay you back on that day?
What do you think? The whole package, $100,000, including interest. That's a real heavyweight punch. Once a client misses a payment, you call the whole loan in. You want to make it tomorrow? Well, that's all you just got to know.
And how many times had Mr. L been late with his repayments?
Once.
And how much was he supposed to pay back every month?
$50.
Sounds like Mr. L was in a real sticky spot.
Yeah, at $50 a month, he'd never pay a huge loan off. Whatever.
So, I mean, he might eventually, but like...
I mean, it would take him like the rest of his life.
Right, especially if the interest is building up faster than his actual regular monthly payment.
Right. So how much did he have left on his debt?
You want to round figures? Around $100,000.
That's the whole amount.
We're talking about a guy who had 58 cents in his wallet. What? You tell me he wasn't even going to pay for the coffee?
He certainly seems to have been a brave man, this Mr. L.
That guy was smooth, I tell you, real smooth. You owe your money in less than 5 minutes. That's what he says to me. The guy then calls me the Tender Tiger. He was skating on thin ice with me.
So yeah, maybe... haven't gotten any penalties yet. Whoop. Well, is that because he...
The guy won the lottery. Was his last chance at a big win.
And you can confirm that this is the ticket in question?
That's it.
The Millionaire Radio Show starts at 1:30 p.m. It runs for 10 minutes. That fixes the time you met with some accuracy.
And the whole scene was acted out again 30 minutes later. Also, Mr. Kudo would see it.
I can still see the kid's face now. Ain't never gonna forget it.
Was there anyone else in the restaurant at the time?
I don't remember.
If there was no one there, I'll wear that ridiculous tiger suit for a month. Mr. Armstrong, Maggie, and from Wright, Viola Cadaverini were all there at that time.
So the victim had intended to repay you from his lottery winnings from the beginning?
Seems that way to me.
But you wouldn't normally expect to win the lottery, would you?
Ha! The undying belief that your next roll will end the worst losing streak you ever had. That's what defines a true gambler.
He makes it sound so cool.
Don't be tempted, Nick. You haven't got the willpower for it. All I know is the kid took a shot and he got lucky in the end.
That waitress, you mean...
The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten away, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with.
Maybe I should push a little harder on this. What do you mean things would have been over with and done with?
Are you all dare or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way.
As far as I could tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said.
The tiger's motive, huh? Okay, say again. Are you saying you had no other motives that day?
Yeah, so what? Then why didn't you take the lottery ticket when you left? Why do you think? Because of Four Eyes over there.
Because of Maggie?
How about you go ask Four Eyes about the $500,000 ticket? She wanted it so bad. She poisoned Unc's coffee.
A likely theory. Your word hasn't held water lately, Mr. Tigre.
Let's not forget this witness was actually at the scene, Trite. The law don't exactly agree with some of the deals I sent down. I couldn't be there when the cops showed up, so I split.
I see.
Your Honor, the witness's last few statements are worth a good 2 cups of coffee.
Well, Mr. Wright, are you happy with the testimony, or would you like it amended?
That's kind of strange. Have it amended?
I'm not going to get anywhere with the testimony as it stands. Your Honor, the defense would like the testimony amended.
Very well. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect your recent statements, please.
My business with that kid was over.
The tiger's trying to pin the crime on Maggie. If I ask him about what he saw, I'm only going to damage our case. What do you mean it would have been done and over with?
We already asked that. Or are you trying to go to the other...
I guess I could switch between these two for some reason. But I think I know what to hit him with. Because the ticket's only for $50. That would have been half of what he owed.
What? No, it's not. It's for $500,000.
Half a
$500,000.
million.
That's $500,000.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So it's actually worth well over what he actually owed.
Okay. So
wait, what's that last bit there? That white thing? Oh. Yeah, and that's past due payment. Isn't that what his other motive was?
Yeah, but can we prove that that's why he killed Elg? I mean, I can try it. I did just say, okay. So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elg owed you, correct?
I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right.
Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, $100,000 wasn't enough to cover it, was it?
Huh.
About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery.
Where does Where did you get all this info?
These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due in December of last year, and was paid in full.
Well, $1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs.
No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue.
But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. So we were right that it is an exorbitant amount even for hospitals.
Yeah.
So I guess it was like a mob hospital or something.
Maybe, or maybe it was like through a mob doctor and, he extortion.
Yeah.
Well, order. You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright?
Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini.
Did you just say Cadaverini?
Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini.
What? Oh my god! I didn't realize it. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, now you know why you did it, huh? Your life was in danger unless you paid the compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You're desperate to acquire $1 million Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elg's life to pay your debt.
Order. What do you say to that, witness?
It's a nice little fairy tale, Trite. But even if the witness did need $1 million, that doesn't tie him to Mr. Elk's murder. Mr. Elk only owed him $100,000 and had no hope of repaying it anyway. Yeah, that guy wasn't worth my spit.
I don't think so. In fact, the opposite is true.
The opposite?
Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But, in this case, the very fact that Glenn Elk had no way to repay the money is crucial.
What?
Do you know where you're going with this, Nick?
You've got to think outside the box, Maya.
Outside the box?
It's very straightforward. Mr. Tigre wasn't after the $100,000 at all.
It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? What exactly was Mr. Tigre after?
The CD.
Yep. Glenn Elk was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elk put in order to borrow the money.
Can it explain how skill can be used as collateral to secure a loan, Trite?
He had the skill to create a computer virus, and so he did. A virus known as MC Bomber.
A computer virus? What does one of those do?
A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer.
A computer? What does one of those do?
I guess the beard isn't the only part of his armor that is from the Stone Age.
A beard? What's one of those?
Oh, jeez Louise. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important part. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market.
Black market? What does one of those do?
Would you? I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you couldn't have cared less about the $100,000, isn't that right? All you cared about was the one thing, the virus. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on the CD. Glenn Elk had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, and neither can I.
The lottery win?
Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elk won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means.
That's crazy!
He murdered Glenn Elk and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glenn Elk, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify, Mr. Victor Kudo.
Like I said, Trey, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it.
But Mr. Armstrong was in it from the very beginning. In on it. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money, too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan.
Damn.
Yeah.
Order, order. Silence all. Clear the courtroom.
You put on a good show, Spiky. If you just want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that.
I agree.
You do?
Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out.
What? Another one, Mr. Wright.
Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trey?
Oh, geez, that's like...
What was this trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused?
I can't save. Fucking gosh darn it.
Paper badge about the fucking, like, being the attorney and shit. He posed as us.
Yeah.
What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation.
Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as a victim on that day in question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me.
Hey,
What? That's...
The truth.
But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here at this very court a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disrespectable, shabby defense I had ever seen.
Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him?
No.
Hey! Forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that. Not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh?
Have you no...
pleading stance looks really weird.
Yeah. Have you no pride, sir?
This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite, here at court, we deal with people's lives.
Nah.
Mr. Godot is right.
Your Honor?
Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it.
No!
If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness.
I'm gonna say it real quick.
The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive.
But we've come so far. You say he impersonated Glenn Elk. You say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee.
Ah!
Ha! Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get mauled. You got that?
All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit, but I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt.
Huh. Looks like I won't be needing a refill.
If I just had...
Bless you.
Thank you. If I just had one more piece of evidence... One more piece of evidence and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook.
This witness's cross-examination is now over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigre.
And then Gumshoe barges in, right? Hold it. Gumshoe. Yeah...
Your Honor, sir.
Yeah.
Ha! Wait!
Detective!
Detective Gumshoe!
Sorry it took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works! So here it is. My heart's counting on this too.
What is it, Detective?
Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence.
What? What? What are you talking about?
Well, let me get to it. Oh, I guess we're in recess.
I guess so. Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab.
The results?
But the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle you gave me. Oh, so, do you know who the prints belong to now? Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know! So, tell us, they're the tigers, right? I knew it! You bet, pal. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. They're Furry Tigger's paw prints, alright. That's great, we've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick.
I know. Look, I'm sorry. It's kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now.
Huh? What? Why not?
What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put the poison in Glenn Elk's coffee. He's already admitted that he met with the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now.
No. I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie, and I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe?
Maggie!
You've been working on something for me?
Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. Now get out of your hair now.
Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone.
Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick?
I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it.
A few minutes later, you're back in the courtroom. Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
I granted you a recess so you can prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered.
Yes.
Don't keep us all in suspense, Trite. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we?
Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste.
How much more of my time are you gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before. But you lawyers should know how to blow things out of proportion.
No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright.
Well, I know I can't prove anything with this new evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here, but maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit.
Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court.
I mean, I have to present this, yeah?
Yeah?
Unless there's something else that I haven't used yet.
Well, what else is there? Literally, what else is there?
This is the defense's final piece of evidence.
Isn't that the victim's...
Your Honor, naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre.
What?
But, Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information?
Everyone here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark.
My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle? Is that what you're saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyway?
Okay, got it.
So we're gonna
trick him into saying that this is the poison bottle. A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like a perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains...
Potassium cyanide.
This bottle contains potassium cyanide.
Potassium cyanide?
The poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that?
Ha 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 ha! You'd make a good clown, you know that.
What?
Yous ain't never gonna get this to stick. You's just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger?
Bluff?
I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it.
No. This is the bottle we found traces of the poison in.
Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown. It was made of glass. And the cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it.
Yeah, he just, exposed himself. Got him. At last.
What? Why has everyone gotten quiet? I said that bottle.
Is this the bottle you're referring to?
Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But you ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out? Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say?
You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with this murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison.
You don't know who you're messing with. I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. I got an explanation for this. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me?
Sure. The last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with the phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Oh jeez. Is this gonna mess with your epilepsy at all?
No, I'm fine.
Alright.
Holy shit, though.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, what? Oh.
The lights went out. Whoa.
What's going on?
It looks like a blackout, Your Honor, or whatever.
Well done. Right. I saved my 70th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey.
Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go.
Really, Your Honor? You're doing like a freaking nursery rhyme right now? Oh, okay.
Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tigre, Mr. Crow?
He is being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glenn Elg, Your Honor.
Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney.
Yes, she was.
And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake.
Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Furio Tigre is truly a frightening criminal.
Ha. The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there.
You know?
Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird, not guilty.
Alright.
I think that was a compliment. It's him saying that, you know, the real guy to fear is this guy over here.
Oh, well, thank you, Godot. That means a lot.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't sure we were going to pull it off, honestly.
Yeah? Like, honestly, he didn't seem...
Also, the fact that he, like, went through with the phony evidence thing, like, I thought it wasn't gonna work. Like, I figured that, like, somehow, some way, like, he wasn't gonna slip up because he, like, knew and saw straight through him, you know? I didn't realize he was gonna slip up that badly, you know?
Yeah. And also, Furo Tigre, like, he seems like a dumbass, but in some regards, he's actually really smart. And then he went around to being a dumbass again when he accidentally slipped up. Like, he's both smart and dumb at the same time.
Yeah.
Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Maggie.
I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago, but now I feel like I can forgive him.
Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger.
Look, Nick, in the doorway.
Detective Gumshoe.
Oh, I guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal.
Wait.
Detective Gumshoe.
Yeah, congratulations, Maggie.
Thanks.
I knew you were innocent all along.
Why didn't you say that in your testimony then?
Huh? Oh, well, I was... Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around.
Wait up, Detective. He just ran off.
Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle.
That wasn't even of any use.
But...
It's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles.
Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him.
Can you put in a good word for him, Nick?
Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. No, I'm saving because I think I have to present something. Maggie, you know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this.
I want to believe that, sir. But on the first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up.
You didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts.
But he doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it.
I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom.
Lunchbox?
Yeah. Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom.
That's...
A present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love.
He said you lost weight and he was worried about you.
Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies. You know.
Did you guys see it? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know.
Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it?
It's okay if I eat this now.
Well, yeah, of course. It's...
Aw.
Aw. So, how is it, Maggie?
It's really good.
Okay.
Okay. So the case of the phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And, who knows, maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start.
Neat.
Yeah.
And that's the end of episode 3.
Indeed. So, the next episode...
Turnabout Beginnings.
Oh, hey! Hedgeworth is back, I guess. Okay. Well.
Turnabout Beginnings?
Turnabout Beginnings.
Ooh. Now, is there a 5th one for this?
Yeah,
I
there's
thought I saw
5.
there was another one.
There is 5, yes.
Okay.
Hold on. This is playing automatically. I can't...
Oh.
The girl, let her go! I don't know.
Let it go! Let it go!
Shut up. Come closer. And I'll kill her. Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. Jeez. Okay. I feel like we should do this in the next episode, but it's playing automatically, so I don't...
It's alright.
Fuck.
First case of my longtime mentor,
BFA. Her very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. Six years earlier.
Mia Fey, first trial.
So we're playing as Mia again.
Interesting.
Oh wait, didn't she say that her first trial actually happened before the trial with Phoenix? She was like, yeah, I was in court once before.
Oh yeah.
And apparently Dolly was also involved with that case somehow.
Oh my.
Well, we'll find out in the next episode.
I guess so.
See you guys then.
Bye.